Dane, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Coach? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great, doing
Good.
great.
Awesome. I appreciate you for joining tonight or today, I guess.
I appreciate you having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. Um, all right, man. Let's get started. Hey, my name's Tyler Milbert. I'm here with Dane Christensen, and this is Inside the Mind of an Athlete. All right, Dane. So, first things first, QB1 Casteel High School. You're 6'3", a buck 90. You're a stick, but you're still growing and you're still getting strong. Um, this year will be your senior year, and you have a GPA of a 4.3. Um, just go over for those student athletes who think they're better than going to class and go and getting their grades up and thinking that just because they're talented, they're going to go as far as they want to. Can you kind of describe to how important having a high GPA is as well?
Yeah, I would say having a high GPA is very important because it's a reflection on yourself as well as it's a reflection on the football team and everybody around you. And of course, being the leader of the team, I feel like that's kind of something that's expected to get it done both on and off the field and in the classroom. And so I take pride in what I do in the classroom. And I know for me, a little bit in the recruiting process, coaches are always asking what your grades are, how you're
Right.
doing in the classroom,
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff. So what you do in the classroom is just as important as what you do on the field, and
Right.
one is not better than the other, and equally or just as important.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate them hearing it from the man himself at a 4.3 because I know Casteel's known for having their grades up all across the board for every sport. If you look at just the players they got going D1s, like, you're not going D1 with a 1.7. You're not going
Exactly.
D1 with a 2.3. So grades are definitely important. And for you to have a 4.3, that's phenomenal. And congratulations. And keep working hard. You got one more year. So.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into the football talk, you're a two-sport athlete. You also play basketball at Casteel. Um, I always get brought up, being from a small town myself. I played year-round, every different sport. Coming out here to Arizona, you got a lot of kids that are playing just one sport, and after that sport's over for school season, they'll just hop on the club team or the AAU team or whatever it is you have it. So, um, you being a two-sport athlete, what do you think the pros are, and what do you think the cons are, if there are?
Well, I would say there's definitely more pros than cons. And a lot of coaches that I talk to, both at Casteel and at the college level, they think being a multi-sport athlete is very important because one being a multi-sport athlete gets you involved in new things, gets you involved with new teammates and that sort of stuff, and it works new muscles and kind of I don't know. It's just helpful, and I played basketball since I was a young age as well as football, and I love both of them, and it's good to build relationships both on and off the court in basketball and in football,
Right.
friendships that will last a while, and so I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to play both at Castile.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And again, just talking highly about Castile, they're a very good uh, school with all their programs on accepting the two-sport athletes. I know for volleyball, we had Austin Ponsness, and he played basketball as well, and he would miss tryouts, but we'd have a separate tryout just for him. He'd still have to show us what he's worth, but he would do it, and he'd jump right in. He might be a few weeks behind, but um, yeah, Casteel's very very well known for that. And me myself, I think it's like you said, it's very important to kind of get those friendships, those relationships at different sports, different levels, and just be, like you said, work in different muscle groups and kind of putting yourself in a different situation in each sport that you play. And so when you get onto the football field, if it's fourth and goal, no time left on the clock, if it kind of puts you in that same position when you're at the foul line, you had to hit those free throws to win the game. So if you're in that position
Exactly.
in another sport and then you come to football or whatever sport you're playing at that time, you're ready for that moment, and that's I think a big pro on the multi-sport athletes for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, just for me, I mean, I just love to compete no matter what the sport is, and like you said, no matter what the situation is, whether it's in football or in basketball, it's the thrill of the game is what you play for, and
Right.
so being able to do that in two different sports that you love, and having coaches that work together to make sure that athletes like me and several athletes around the school can do that is really a blessing, because I don't know if that opportunity is presented at other schools,
Right.
and I love that I have that opportunity here at Casteel.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Well, so we'll hop into your football career. Just right now, what was going on with COVID and everything? What is kind of the protocol getting back into the game with the school itself?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's been a unique ride. Football or school got canceled at the beginning of fourth quarter last year, which also made spring ball and summer camps and tournaments, all that sort of stuff get canceled too, which was kind of hard to all accept, especially it being my senior year. But we're pushing for the start of practice with pads on August 17th. And our first game on September 11th. So
Okay.
hopefully that plan goes through, and I'm just excited because it's been a while.
Yeah.
We started practicing last Monday, and we've had about four practices, and it's just been so good to get back out there, with our guys
Yeah.
after months of being off, and working hard with them again and building that camaraderie. There's nothing better than that. So I'm excited to be back, and hopefully all goes through, and we'll be
Right.
able to start playing games come September 11th.
Yeah, for sure. So that
Yeah.
so that pushes back your schedule because I believe the first game was supposed to be the 18th of August against Perry.
hmm
And so how does it being a 5A school, seeing the big 6A schools on your schedule this year? What do you is that kind of like a motivation thing or
Absolutely.
yeah, okay, good. Okay, I was gonna say it better
Absolutely.
be.
Yeah, so we played in 5A the past couple of years, and we felt that we competed and played with all the guys in 5A, but I know the 2020 class or 2021 class that we have at Casteel, and along with the other classes that are following, are super excited about the schedule we have this year. And we all know that we can compete with the best, and there's no better opportunity to do that than in 6A. So
Yeah.
we got a tough schedule this year, even though some of it might be modified, but we're gonna go out there and show 6A that Casteel belongs and that Casteel can compete.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Um, I'll touch on some stats from last year, your junior year. You were second in 5A with 300 plus passing yard or 3,000 plus passing yards. I want to say it was like 311 around there. And then you had 30 throwing touchdowns as well.
Yep.
Um, and that's as a junior. And again, we're talking 5A football. We're not talking when Castile was 3A, you're 5A. So as a junior, kind of stepping into that role with kind of stepping in from where Gunnar Cruz was, now Dane Christensen it's your time to roll. How did you kind of go into last year having a chip on your shoulder and having it be your team now?
Yeah, well, I played quarterback since I was five, and I've been at Castile since I was in seventh grade, so I've been super familiar with the offense and stuff. Had a great freshman and sophomore year. Gunnar was a great role model, and I looked up to him a lot, but also knew that it was my time this past year to kind of show everybody what I could do and what Castile was about, even with the good 2019 class that graduated. And I was proud of what we did as a team, and what we accomplished. And I think that if anything, we took a step forward and showed that we belong, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just adding to one more stat, you were number one in 5A with QB accuracy at a 72.6%. And again, this is as a junior. 5A is loaded with talent, loaded with seniors, and to have your name at the top of that list has got to just kind of show you that since you've been playing QB since you're 5 years old, you're only getting better, of course, at what you're doing, but you're doing it to clearly the top of the state of Arizona, and that's only motivation for this year as a senior as well. So,
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
yeah. So congratulations on that. Like I said, you were 2A with passing last year, or you were second in 5A for passing last year. So
Yep.
get that to first this year.
Yes, sir. That's the
'Cause
plan. That's the
you always
plan.
got to one up what you did the year before. But touching on Casteel football, I know you had Coach Stowers kind of to start it off. He left for family reasons, and now you have Coach Newcomb. What if you could compare the two? Not saying bash one or the other, but what would you say you've learned from both?
Well, yeah. So when I was a freshman, Coach Stowers was he was the head coach of the varsity. So to be honest, I didn't. I mean, I worked with him because, like I said, I've been there since seventh grade, and so I knew who Stowers was, and I had a good relationship with Coach Stowers. But yeah, he was always working with the varsity group when I was a freshman, when I got to high school, and freshmen always practice separately. So he was, while I loved him off the field, and he was always very encouraging and all that stuff. He was never really my coach. You know what I mean? I had my
Right.
freshman head coach, and I could definitely turn to Coach Dowers and ask him questions whenever I wanted. But when he left for I believe it was Minnesota, Coach Newcomb,
Yeah.
he stepped in, and I've built a great relationship with Coach Newcomb and the rest of the coaching staff, and they've just done a great job really bringing our program together, and really focus on, it's about the team more than it's about the individual. And
Yeah.
we wanted that state championship last year. Obviously came up short against Williamsfield, but that's what that's what the game's about. And we go up to 6A this year to prove that we belong, and show that we're legit, and hopefully compete for a state championship this year.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the mindset you got to have going in. And I'll shout out a few players that I just see on the Twitter sphere. You got Big Brock protecting you, and he's committed to Washington State. And then you get to throw to Isaiah Newcomb, and he's committed to UCLA. So clearly you have more talent on the team as well. But with those guys kind of around you, especially as your offensive weapons, how does that all as well have a confidence boost on you on your end as the QB?
Oh, absolutely. Those guys make my job so much easier. My whole offensive line, they protect me. They give me all the time in the world. Obviously, Brock Dewey is committed to Washington State. I've said it for a long time. He's the best offensive lineman in the state of Arizona. And so he protects me along with the rest of my offensive line, guys like Justin Thomas, Carson Gaisley, Rudy Varela. So those guys have protected me and helped me deliver the ball. And then I got great weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, you talked about Isaiah Newcomb, who's committed to UCLA. He's got tremendous speed. He's got good hands and very athletic. But also got guys like Dom Dejan, who's just a playmaker who runs over people, has great hands. We had two stud seniors last year, and we got two guys that are moving up this year, Zach Miller and Desmond Holton, who are going to be great additions to our offense. And then we got Jace Knutson as our running back, and he's a great player as well. So while it might seem that my stats are this and that, none of it, you couldn't do any of it without the guys around you. And it starts up front with the big boys, and then you get it to the hands of the playmakers and let them do the rest.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. My next question was going to be about Gunnar Cruz. You kind of spoke on him already. And I like that you said that while you looked up to him when he ended up graduating and going to Washington State himself, you just knew it was your turn and it's your time to shine now. It wasn't kind of you weren't hesitant. You were ready. You were excited. So That's that's huge for a young kid going into that position, especially like I said, as Casteel was in 3A starting out. Now it's your time, it's 5A, so it's bigger, faster, stronger guys. Um, so with Gunner Cruz being talked about, I want to go now down to Landon Jury, who now you're the Gunner Cruz to him. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Um,
sir.
so what is your kind of motive to help him get to where he needs to be and kind of leave him in a good spot when you end up graduating this year?
Yeah. So I mean, I got all good things to say about Landon Jury. You know, he's a great quarterback. He'll be a sophomore this year. He started JV as a freshman and just lit the world on fire and played really well. So um, when I graduate, Casteel football is in good hands with him. He's a playmaker. He's very smart, and he's a leader. But yeah, Gunner Cruz, he taught me different stuff or different things about how to lead, and how to get respect from your teammates and all that good stuff. And I'm doing my best to mentor Landon Jury because I know when I'm gone and he fills the shoes that he'll do a great job and he'll be up for the task just like I was when Gunner
Yeah,
left.
for sure. Speaking on Gunner's leadership, I don't know him personally, but team, the volleyball team, he's obviously good friends with him, and I would watch videos of guys in the weight room, whether it's the offensive line, or whoever it was, when they're doing like their bench presses. Like Gunner was in their face, and he was making sure that they got that lift, and he was the first one to hype them up. And you don't. That's what you want from a leader. You don't always get that from a leader, and I'll quote that because some guys that think just because they're the best think that they're the leader as well. You're
Exactly.
if you're the leader, you're the like Gunner Cruz. You're in that guy's face and you're pumping him up, getting him excited to get his best weight on the bench for the season or whatever it may be. And it's not just on the field throwing touchdowns. It's off the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, when you see him at the store or whatever. A leader goes so much more beyond just the field of play. So
Exactly. Yep.
yeah. So make sure you're passing that down to Landon. I'm sure you are. I know.
I'm Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm trying my best being the best leader I can be. I've kind of looked at myself as a leader, my whole life, but Landon is a great leader, and like I said, when I leave, that the upcoming classes are in good hands with him. So
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll touch a few more things and we'll get out of here. So talking about Brock heading to Washington State and Isaiah going to UCLA, what is your path that you're wanting to take, hoping to take, or even taking?
yeah, so I'm in communication with several Division I schools right now. I don't hold any offers at the moment, but I'm talking to schools like BYU, Yale, other Ivy League schools as well as a couple Power Five schools as well. But we'll just kind of see what opportunity presents itself when the time comes, and we're really hoping for the senior season. Just to once again, kind of prove that I can play at the next level, and
Right.
and so that's the goal. And once it's all said and done, we'll make a decision, and that'll be it. So.
For sure. Now, when you say we'll make a decision, are parents weighing in a little bit, or
Absolutely, yeah. They're always asking me, who's reaching out, like all this sort of stuff, and they should be part of the process. So much
yeah,
time and money and effort into seeing their kids succeed. So they're absolutely a part of the process, and
yeah, for
I
sure.
couldn't do it without them.
Yeah. You ever get any help from Gunner on what to say or how to contact different people or anything?
I haven't. I haven't a lot actually. Me and so we obviously communicate every day when he was at Casteel, but when he went up to Washington State, I connect with him every now and again. But you know, I wouldn't say I necessarily rely on him for that stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of think that I can handle situations on my own, and while I know he did a great job during the process too, I feel like I can do the same as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and if you can hold your head on your shoulders like you are, and could just continue being a strong young man like you have been, like the sky's the limit for you. And I know Casteel has a great program. They're sending kids left and right to D1 schools. And it was proof, I believe, I want to say the first year they had graduates, I want to say 8 or 9 kids went D1 or at least played
Yeah.
football after high school. So um, for you being next in line to kind of, because Casteel, as every person in America, they love football. Everyone loves football. So you're kind of like the man on campus, and everyone's kind of like, "Hey, where's Dane going?" Uh,
Yeah.
so no pressure at all there. But I know once you get those offers and you commit, I know you're going to get a whole lot of blessings and congratulations, because everyone, especially like you said, you started at 5 years old being a quarterback, so it's your dream, and I wish you the best of luck. Um,
Thank
and
you.
then
I appreciate it.
yeah, for sure. I'll end with one thing. It's kind of what I ask a lot of high school students is for the kids coming up after you graduate, whether they're in the 7th grade now, because since Casteel does the 7 through 12, so whether they're in 7th grade, whether they're upcoming freshmen or just an underclassman to you, what's your advice to them on how to succeed in the classroom and on the field as well?
My advice to those coming up, in the program, and no matter what program you're in at Casteel or anywhere across the state, my advice would just be to continue to work hard, and don't let anybody outwork you, and always chase the spot you want. I know I'm the starting quarterback at Casteel High School, but there's still more to prove, and there's still more work to be done. And so that's the advice I would give to those young kids, is just keep working, believe in the process, because it can get hard and challenging sometimes. And the early mornings and long practices aren't always the most fun, but it's all worth it in the end. And it's crazy to think, it doesn't seem like too long ago. I was just a seventh grader walking on campus, a little 5 foot whatever, but
Yeah,
the time really does go fast. So I would say use your time wisely, because before you know it, you'll be gone. And that's how I feel. It doesn't even seem real that I'll be a senior this year, but that's what it is. And you got to go out and show to everybody
for
that
sure.
you belong. So
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I wish you nothing but the best of luck this year. I hope, obviously, no one really knows what's going on with this COVID stuff, but hopefully we can get things running, get the sports flowing again, just get the kids back to school in general. So whatever that may be, whatever we have to do, I hope everyone's on board with it, and we're able to do so, because I know for my the volleyball team this last year, we had 8 seniors, and they missed out on a heck of a season. They missed out on a heck of a run that they could have had, and it was heartbreaking for all the coaches and of course the players and parents, I'm sure, as well. So
yeah,
wish nothing upon that to anyone, honestly, ever, because that was gut wrenching, and it was painful. So I wish you nothing but the best of luck for your crazy schedule that you have this year. But like you said, try to get that number one spot in that passing yards. Of course, you have plenty of help. Keep your head straight. Keep focusing on the classroom, and offers will start flowing in. And take your time and choose wisely, man.
absolutely, Coach. I appreciate you taking the time for this little interview, and wish you and the volleyball program best of luck as well. I know there was talk around all the school during the time about how legit our volleyball program was. And
Yeah.
I used to play volleyball and back in junior high, but yeah, I had Mr. Wilt as a teacher and everything, and you guys were gonna do big things this year, so I was definitely
Yeah.
sad about your guys' season. But hopefully this virus clears up soon, back to a little normalcy in the world. So
For sure, man. For sure. All right, guys. Well, once again, my name's Tyler Milbert. I'm here with Dane Christensen, and this is Inside the Mind of an Athlete.